Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Here we are at the next hour of full of excitement on the 13-hour stream. With us are the hosts of EGI, that's Electronic Gaming
EGI
Information
2.
2,
EGI 2. No,
which doesn't sound for... Sorry.
It's just EGI 2. There's no connection. The letters don't stand for anything. It's just EGI 2.
Totally.
It's just E, G, I, and then the number 2. Underscore 2.
Twitch.tv.
You could probably...
Underscore 2.
I tried to search for it. And it turns out let's shout it out.
Go ahead and post in the chat /shoutout space EGI_2. These guys run a pretty funny program of their own.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. It's a new program. It's a gaming news and entertainment program.
It's a men's rights community. It's a men's community, not fashion and lifestyle blog.
We're mostly focusing on the video gaming period between 2002 and 2011.
Now, I'm curious because I wouldn't say exactly people consider that the golden age of gaming, do they?
No, but what you find is that it kind of there's a bit of a I feel like there's a bit of a lull in gaming now. I feel like the baseline of what we've been doing lately in video games was established during that period.
Right.
So we have a show on Twitch, but we've only just started learning how Twitch works. So I brought this. This is a Stream Deck, and I was hoping that you would just show me how to use it.
Yeah. I have one right here.
Okay.
So this is, you take it out your own, you can kind of...
so this is, do you have pages on that?
I do. This is because I'm using a secondary app called Companion.
So for the viewers out there who are unfamiliar with Twitch, this is the Twitch Stream Deck. And not to be confused with the Steam.
Well, it's actually the Elgato Stream Deck.
It's the Twitch
not
Elgato.
Twitch branded. Well, it's not branded by Twitch.
It's steaming.
You can use it on YouTube as well.
You can steam with it. You can stream with it. Yeah. You can plug it in, have a great time. When you've got a Stream Deck, what I've been told, Allan, back to you, Allan, is that the show goes live and the fun never stops.
The show goes live and the fun never stops.
Is that a copy off the box
or something you came up with?
Evolve your content.
It says evolve your content on the box. So we're going to evolve the content. I can't say some of this stuff. Back to you, Allan, and we're on Luke's show, aren't we?
I thought back to Luke.
Back to you, Luke. Thank you for having us on your show. I was a little confused, but I am happy to be hanging out with Robbie and to learn about the Steam Deck.
That's great.
I did get the confusing thing, and I'll point to this and look at you and say the confusing thing is that the Steam Deck. I also have I got a Steam Deck OLED.
Really? So you got one?
I got
That's
one.
why I'm
confused. How's it looking?
It's looking fantastic.
Crisp, I imagine.
I'm playing lots of games that came out between 2002 and 2011 on it, and so those games look absolutely fabulous. I mean, to be able to play something like Skyrim in handheld mode.
Well, you can play that on the Switch.
Right, but it's on the Steam Deck. And I own it already.
Well,
I also own it on Switch.
So you could play Skyrim handheld. Didn't you also buy an OLED Switch?
No, yes.
So you could play on an OLED screen Skyrim specifically already.
Yes. But to play it on the Steam Deck OLED, you get the haptics. And I'm just finding out about these haptics. Apparently they're everywhere.
You mean like feedback?
Yes. Haptics?
Back to you, Robbie.
Back to you, Allan.
Feedback is when the trigger shakes.
They have that on the Steam Deck.
This is the first time hearing about it. I thought he was talking about a Steam Deck. A Stream Deck.
We're seeing Joe Botnick's in the chat. He's saying Rayman 3 Hoodlum Havoc.
That's a great game.
It's a fantastic game. It's not on the list, but it is on in terms of, I think that most people would agree that Rayman 2 is still a superior game.
Yes, that is certainly true. Rayman 2, I covered my N64 with Rayman 2 The Great Escape stickers when I was about 10 years old.
That's amazing. Back to you, Luke. And the fact is that the first Rayman, I think, is a game that I've never really been able to play.
Really? Why not?
It's
great. It's a great game.
I'm sure it's a great game. It just doesn't look right. I don't like it's a bit too close to those old Euro style, Amiga style games. It just kind of has that. It's too. Everything's too round.
I think you should give it a try. There's a lot of heart in it. Have you played Rayman Legends or Rayman Origins?
Yes.
Well, then I think you'd like the original. It's more.
I don't know.
It's weird that's where you draw the line.
You're the Rayman expert, so let's hear your thoughts on Rayman Legends and Rayman Origins for the. Here it comes, PS3, Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch.
Thank you, Robbie. I can hear you. Rayman Raving Rabbits. It's these crazy rabbits that jump around. I think it's actually a Mario centric game that you're talking about. Back to you, Robbie. And thank you so much for including me.
That's Mario versus Rabbids.
So the
Rayman
Rabbids got out.
is a Wii game.
There's several there's a party when the Rabbids. The thing about these Rabbids is that they have back to you, Luke, back to you, Allan,
back to you, Robbie.
Back to you, Rayman. Rabbids. The Rabbids are out. The Rabbids are coming to make mischief, and the important thing is to take out your Wii remote with the gun attachment and to shoot the rabbits.
Can I be honest with you?
Yes.
It legitimately astounds me that not that you've never played it, but that you're not interested in playing the original Rayman. One of the best platformers ever.
I've played it. I've played it. I just know that I just don't like it.
Okay,
when
dude.
I say I can't get in, I can't play it. I can't bring myself to play it.
Well, with us tonight are Robbie and Allan, the hosts of EGI2, an incredible program on twitch.tv/EGI_2.
Well, I'm the host. Allan is our special correspondent.
Gotcha.
On the street.
Okay.
He's special reporter.
Let me get through what we're doing. Okay, right. Thank you. So this is the You Sub We Call Challenge. That means whenever you subscribe to the channel, we will call a number of your choice. Have you ever wanted Robbie and Allan to talk to your mom? This is your shot. If you want them to talk to your mom, this is the time to do it. Maybe an estranged cousin, maybe a weird aunt, maybe an old teacher from high school. This is the time. The time is now. The time is up. The time is now.
It's a friend from far off, far away, still living, but still on the line of contact, the Steel Battalion line of contact.
Yes.
For the original Xbox, they've got the Xbox. They've got the Steel Battalion controller laid out in front of their on their desk at all times of the day and the night. These are the people that we want to reach, Luke.
Yes.
Back to you, Luke.
That's exactly right. Thank you so much. Back to you, Robbie. I think there's a world where every single person, instead of using a mouse and keyboard, uses the original Steel Battalion whole setup to control every part of their computer so they can feel immersed in the Steel Battalion universe.
I tried to use at one point I did try to use the Steel Battalion controller on my Macintosh for what was it, Allan?
I want to sit on the couch.
You can't. So the game that I wanted to play it with was there was a Quake port. There's a Macintosh port of Quake, and I thought maybe I could figure out a way to bind everything to this is the original Quake, and for some reason it ran in a very little window, and I couldn't figure out how to make the window wider and larger.
But that didn't have to do with the controller,
well,
did
I
it?
figured I could maybe bind all of the controls for the Quake to the controller, and then I would be able to have hotkeys for all of
No, I know, but wouldn't I mean that seems like it has more to do with this Mac port than it did with the controller itself. No?
I mean, there was issues with the port. It wasn't an official port, Luke.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But that seems like again, it was the ports issue, not the Steel Battalion controllers issue.
Rats is in the chat. Let's shout out to Rats in the chat.
Rats in the chat.
Rats in the Plague of Rats. You would think about all the rats in that wonderful The Plague Tale series, Allan. And you've of course been thinking about these games for a long time. Plague Tale and Requiemed and Redeemed.
Thank you for telling me about that, Robbie. I was thinking about Plague's
Tale,
Requiemed and Redeemed.
Now, Allan, it's the woman and the boy.
I always think there is a woman and a boy generally in these sorts of things, and I do like talking about it. So thank you for including me in the conversation. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be with Robbie, and I'm happy to be with Luke. Back to you, Luke.
And we're doing something.
Yes, actually, this is so fun. Right now, we're going to call someone.
Wow.
We're going to call someone. This is we're calling Jordan. Sent in by Waziant, and we can say that they sent them to us, though I do know their real name, so I assume it's fine to use it, but we'll see.
Vermintide is in the chat for if you're looking for Warhammer Vermintide, if you're looking for 4-player co-op adventuring in the Warhammer universe.
who are we
Vermintide
We're calling Jordan.
Okay.
This is Jordan's number. So if there's anything you want to say to Jordan, now is the time.
How long does it take for people to normally pick up?
Well, a lot of times they don't because they don't pick up from a random number, but that's why we say give us a call back.
We're seeing old school Shinobi in the chat. 1717, the lucky double 17.
Hey, it's Jordan. Leave a message.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up
Robbie to do
or
it.
press
Robbie, why don't
1
you
for
take
more
this?
options.
Hey Jordan, it's Robbie Rackleff from EGI2, twitch.tv/EGI_2, the news program for video game that focuses mostly on video game history between 2002 and 2011, with some deviations, and not the kind of deviations I know Allan would like to talk about, but the deviations to earlier periods and later periods. So if you're, Jordan, if your
Was that the
Christmas
message?
wish is to know more about this period or to know more about other periods, or maybe to just join a community of people.
But this is
who-
Luke's show.
But this is Luke's show, so you should actually be watching TheLukeMan on Twitch right now. So this message is for you to subscribe, give us the bits and the badges and the stickers that we're going to put on the front page of Luke Taylor's TheLukeMan. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season.
Was that right, Luke?
Yeah, that was good. Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan.
Please give us a call
Back to
back.
Jordan.
Call back anytime.
All right.
Okay.
We're here
Take care.
24/7.
Great. That was perfect.
So this show is very different from EGI
Yes.
1. It's different from EGI 2, and it seems like it's a phone call show, but it's not a call-in. It's a calling out show.
Well,
is that
they
right?
also can call in. I've seen we got some people calling in. We'll get back to that. If you call in now, we'll take it. We're just sort of, so we're calling in, we're calling out, and I hope we're all being called into what's going on in the world.
Okay, great.
Now, if I had a stand-up comedy program, I
Yeah.
would say that I would use it to describe the issues with so-called frustration-free packaging. Since this is supposed to be frustration-free.
Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What's your name and what are you calling about?
Hey, what's up? This is Crapmaster Zach.
Zach,
and I
welcome.
wanted to call and talk about this Discord. This video game I've been playing called Crunker Strike. It's on Discord, and it's like Minecraft, but it's Call of Duty. And I've been playing it on my phone.
BattleBit?
It's really fun.
BattleBit Remastered?
No, it's
Crunkle Sprite.
Crunkle Stars.
Crunkle Sprite.
Caller,
Crunker Strike.
the first name and the last name again?
Crunker Strike.
Crunker
No, you.
Strike.
Wait, you're
Oh,
Crunker Strike?
Crunker Strike.
No, I'm Zach. I'm Crapmaster Zach.
Opa Crunker style.
So Crapmaster Zach?
Crampmaster
Yeah.
Zach Crunker Strike.
Plays Crunker Strike.
Crapmaster Zach plays Crunker Strike on twitch.tv.
Slash the Luke Man.
Slash the Luke Man.
Luke Man.
So what's the goal here? What's the through line? Because we're talking about Vermintide, we're talking about the Warhammer universe. We understand, we all know the basics, the basic tenets of both the medieval Warhammer games and the Warhammer 40K
That's right.
universe. Allan.
Yes. And
So what's the mythology, the mythos of the
Crunker Strike.
Crunker Strike?
Team deathmatch, just fighting it out. You can be a peanut. My friend was the grape man, and he got a grape colored.
The Great
colored-
Man, like John Farson,
Yeah.
the Good
I
Man,
don't understand. He is the great man in Crunker Strike?
like the Dark Tower.
Well, he named himself the great man. So.
So you're
and
talking
my
about a
friend
screen
Will-
name.
Yeah, my friend Will was in a shopping cart that had toilet paper in it too.
There's a lot of words being thrown around that I don't
yeah.
fully
I'm sure
understand.
I know. Are you
One
just
thing
he's playing a character named the Great Man, or you're just saying that that's how you're describing what his screen name is on the game?
Well, his screen was and he was. Then there was this guy named I think it was like Doctor Octi or something like that. He kept killing us, and he was really good.
You kind of sound like you're a 10-year-old explaining something to an adult, but you can't really. You're not that good at explaining things.
You sound old.
Yeah, so that's what's confusing, I guess.
It seems like it might be for kids. It's a free game on Discord,
Right.
but we've been playing.
Not the game though. How you're explaining the game?
Well, we're lucky. Zach, the crapper. We're lucky, very lucky to have Crunker Strike expert Allan Resnick in the house to explain to us exactly, to basically take apart what the crap man is saying and put it out there for the rest of the world to hear with that silky, silver-tongued voice of yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Robbie. I can hear you. And it is a Crampmaster Zach is talking about Crunker Strike, right? Yeah. It's a free-to-play Discord game with microtransactions where you play as a shopping cart. And his friend Dr. Oxo or something
Dr. Octagon.
Dr. Octagon is his friend who is a grape in the game. And it's an interesting show. And this is like no podcast I've ever been on in my life or even listened to. And I haven't been on many. And it's even different from EGI in a lot of ways. But I do like that Robbie is taking control and talking to Crampmaster Zach. Back to you, Robbie. I can hear you.
Back to you, Allan. Thank you for that special report. And we will be coming back to you for any more. I hope we've answered your questions, viewers in the chat. And I hope that we've asked the right questions to the good man, John Farson himself, Zach the Crap Man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for calling in.
Thank you.
Maybe you can, if you have a referral code to Crunker Strike, you can leave in the chat, and we can all get free Crunker bucks.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
If you guys want to add me on Discord, we can play together sometime, and you can join my guild.
Maybe we'll try the game on our own first and see if we like it. All right, take care, Zach.
Sarah Two Shoes. My question is, why can't Allan sit on the couch?
Allan cannot sit on the couch because Allan has to be at all times actively searching for he's out there digging for stories, searching for the truth, and he's one of those. He's gonna be one of those people who wins an award someday. I do believe in you, Allan.
Robbie.
I do think that what you're doing has value. We have not been able to pay you, but we will one day be able to recognize your efforts in some form of public venue.
Thank you. And the couch does look comfortable.
Caller, welcome to the show. What's your name and what are you calling about?
Hey there, am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Hell yeah, it's Bowmore.
Bowmore, friend of the show.
Bowmore,
Welcome.
friend of the show. Wonderful to have you here. I have a problem where if I'm not talking, I think that everything's too quiet.
Really? You guys are not going to have... Well, that's get used to Twitch then, huh? I mean, that's a lot of that is the silence.
Back to you, Luke.
Isn't it? Back to you, Luke.
Back to you, Luke.
Bowmore, how are you?
I'm doing well. I called in because I would like to refocus the discussion on GameCube era releases.
Yes.
I think that there's a meeting of the minds happening here, and we're not taking advantage of that.
Thank you. That is so true.
That's so sweet.
That's
Back to you.
Absolutely, 100% correct.
True. We're not taking
Let's talk about the big one. Let's talk about Odama.
Yes, the big ball.
The big ball.
You're a big ball. What if you could play Dynasty Warriors, but instead of getting to be a cool guy from Chinese or Japanese mythology, instead you were a big ball? That's kind of that game, right?
Is this what you're talking? Are we still talking about the freak man, the crap man?
No. Isn't that what Odama's about?
No. Who's on the phone?
This is Bowmore.
Bowmore, friend of the show. Welcome back.
I'm here.
He never left.
Right. So you didn't have anything to say about Odama.
I do have a lot to say.
Please
about Odama.
Sorry,
okay,
Bowmore.
This is one of those things. It could be a real thing. It could be one of those dreams that you have in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
That wake you up and you just can't stop thinking about it. You know, it's just. Did it really happen?
Odama.
Could you
The
play?
whole Iwata era, I think, was pretty enchanted.
I want to just finish what my dream was about, and it might not have been a dream, and it might have just been a thought that I had when I was on the train one day, which is that can you play Odama with the Donkey Konga controller?
You can speedrun anything with the Donkey Konga controller. It's a whole vaunted category.
Well, but was it a touted feature on the back of Odama?
I don't know. That's beyond me, man. That's why we tune in. That's why we have the experts.
Oh, exactly. Allan, you're the Odama expert. Let's hear your thoughts on what what we have laid out on the table here.
So far, my understanding is, and I am no expert in Odama.
You're the
I am a big
Odama
fan.
expert. You're Allan on the scene. You're in the field. You're talking about Odama for the Nintendo game.
And I have been paying attention. Odama is something that you can speedrun with the Donkey Kong Conga controller is basically the word on the street, and people have been talking a lot about that. So I'm happy to contribute more to the conversation. I'm happy to just keep talking about that.
So this just in, Allan on the street is has just laid out on the table that what the Bowman,
Bowmore.
The big Bowman.
Gomon. Is this just in? Allan is Goman on the Nintendo 64. Goman, the Mystical Ninja, is on the Nintendo 64 as we speak right now. Gomon is.
Is there a Gomon N64 game?
There is a Gomon N64 game. So Allan, take it away. This is the light is shining on you.
Where you fight. They give you a mecha. You get to fight in a mecha.
That's right.
As Gomon piloting a mecha.
That's a lot of fun.
Said so well, I don't think I have anything else
to have the controller pack, though. If you rent it and you don't have a controller pack, you can't save.
But could you reverse engineer the Donkey Kong controller to play Gomon Mystical Ninja on the Nintendo 64, Allan?
Yes, of course, absolutely.
Back to you, Allan. Back to you, Luke.
I'd like to throw a game in the mix from exactly this era, another GameCube classic called Lost Kingdoms. Robbie, what do you know about Lost Kingdoms?
I don't like the Lost Kingdom games.
Really?
I don't like Lost Kingdom 1. I don't like Lost Kingdom 2.
Well, I was very scared of them as a kid, but I played through them all because I enjoyed this is a game. I'm very surprised by what you like and you don't like. I thought I kind of had your likes pegged in terms of video games, Robbie, but Lost Kingdom is an incredible game where you have cards, and it's a monster summoning game, but it's also sort of an action
card game.
Yes.
Oh, no.
But it's also an action game, and you get to pick which cards you go into the levels.
Bonafide classic, and I'll go to Rebel Strike as a bonafide classic. I don't care if people don't like those.
What about Baton Katos?
Baton Katos? I don't care.
You don't care?
I don't care about Batons.
Once long ago, you name-checked 2004's Custom Robo.
Oh yeah,
what a game!
What a game! And you
God
can't have
damn.
Custom Robo, of course, without the original Robo Pit for the Sega Saturn and PlayStation.
That's right.
There's also two custom Robo games for the N64 that released on the Nintendo Switch eShop Japan, the virtual console, but not America. Instead, I believe we got GoldenEye. I guess, I know people love GoldenEye. Why can't we also get the custom
Head to the Chat Havers Discord to help fill out the petition to get the N64 games released in the U.S.
Great. Thank you. Back to you, the chat, to the Discord. And Allan, Luke just mentioned GoldenEye, which reminded me that they re-released GoldenEye in several formats recently, including the Nintendo 64 channel for the classic Switch, Classic Game Library, Nintendo 64 channel, but they left out the modern control schemes that you can access with some of the other ports of GoldenEye.
Huh.
That is so true, Robbie.
Thank you for saying that. Is it still 2 frames a second?
It looks like the old game. It plays like the old game, and that could be the problem because, you get all these great remasters of things like the Turok games, and you get the modern wingdings and 2-stick controls. Allan?
Yes, classic 2-stick controller.
It was the main shooter for a while. It was the main hanging out with the boys shooting game.
Allan does know about hanging out with the boys.
I do like to hang out with the boys.
He's a boy hanger.
I hang out with the boys. I'm hanging out with the boys.
We were hanging out with the boys.
Boy hanger. Back to you, Robbie.
Back to you, Luke.
Bowmore, are there any other specific GameCube games you would like us to discuss? Because I got a lot to say on this era. It's my era. Anyways.
Just a beautiful memory for my birthday in fall 2002.
Okay.
I got a GameCube with Luigi's Mansion and Rogue Leader for my birthday, and I never got that.
2 great launch titles for the GameCube. Yeah. Those were the great launch titles.
I've been waiting my whole life to get some shit right off the bat and brag about it to the boys, and I got it.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
It was the fucking most amazing thing. And then I got Melee a couple months later.
November, I believe, that year.
It just keeps building. It keeps building.
I believe that the GameCube and the Xbox, the original Xbox, did launch within days of each other.
Really?
If I'm not correct. And
I was fiercely territorial in that era.
absolutely. I mean, I would have at the time and in that great year of 2001 where amazing things happened and the sky was the limit.
The 2001. Yeah, 2002 is when we're.
Well,
It
that's
was
what the
01. He's right.
Right.
You're right.
He's correct. It was 2001.
It was 2001, but at the time I would have felt like the Xbox had the better launch lineup. But I think in retrospect, I think we can all agree, and Allan, I think that you will have some thoughts on this, that the GameCube launch library was
What's
far
the launch
superior.
library? It's Luigi's Mansion, Rogue
Pretty
Leader.
soon they'll have Halo ported to the Switch, and we'll have the last laugh in the end.
Wouldn't that be a Christmas miracle?
I remember my friend
Game
got those
Pass
for
on the Switch.
That would be incredible. That would be incredible.
Trying to remember the launch lineup.
All right, I'm going to. I've got to go. I'm going to bow out right now and let another amazing caller call in.
Thank you
and
so much.
Thank you
speak
so
about
much.
It's
the
the
whole
Bowmore
era.
Thank you so much.
He's on all of the socials. Just tag him everywhere. Every chance you get, follow, subscribe
Remember,
to Bowmore.
guys, this is the U-Sub We Call Challenge. If you would like to subscribe, and you can submit a number, and we will call it. How cool is that?
That's amazing.
That's right.
It's amazing
How
news.
cool
That's right.
I'm still shaking from the news.
Yes.
And you've been doing this how many hours at this point?
This is the 7th hour. I started at 11 a.m. I'm on my 7th hour.
That's incredible. It's
and-
amazing to watch two alphas go at it like this.
Yes. Yeah. Two guys. You know what it is? It's two guys who both get nervous when there's silence. I think that's exactly what it is.
Allan, do you get nervous when there's silence?
No, I enjoy the silence. It is a moment for me to rest. I do like when Robbie is talking.
Right.
And the things he's saying are confusing to me, and they give me a hot, sort of sunny feeling right here. And it is sort of an exercise to pay attention. So it is kind of a nice break when there's a bit of silence. I can just be alone with that for a while.
So what are you thinking about, Allan? What's on the thoughts?
I'm thinking about
Listen,
Robbie more than I'm thinking about Luke. Is kind of the polite way
That
of
makes
saying
sense. I mean, yeah. But, I mean, just given what your guys' relationship is, your history, I wouldn't expect anything else.
Thank you
Be a
so
little
much.
strange the other way.
Back to you, Luke.
Thank you
And,
so much.
Allan loves silence, especially in the bath.
That's
And,
right.
Alan's bath time.
Allan does love a good bath. I think we all enjoy a good bath. I shower before a bath
I don't see your sub.
because I read that in a
Zach, head to the
book
Discord.
about Japanese baths that I read when I was a very young child.
And it made you shower.
I said it next time. I said from now on, because these folks seem to be having a fantastic time, and they're showering or dumping water on themselves before they get into this nice bath. And the bath that they showed was more of a barrel.
That is a classic Japanese. It's almost more of like a big, it's almost like a sink.
Yeah.
This classic Japanese bath that you
big
might have
pot.
at your country house. Well, we got a call coming in. Why don't we see what they've got to say? Hello, caller.
You're on the- No,
Hey,
you can
this
do it.
is Nathan
Cheers.
Vegetable.
Hey, Nathan. It's great to see you again.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
But we can't see you.
Nathan
We can't see
Vegetable.
you, I will say.
Also, I would say local celebrity Nathan Vegetable, the Los Angeles area.
You're not supposed to dox.
How so?
You're
Yeah.
you're too kind. I'll stop by your house later, and we can hang out.
My Stream Deck is Nathan. Do you have a Stream Deck?
I have a Steam Deck. Yeah.
Do you have a Steam Deck?
I do have a Stream Deck as well. Actually, I use it for work.
You do it. So
Really?
this is a workflow device.
It is a workflow device. I have because I use my left hand for my mouse at work. It's hard to press copy and paste.
This
With
just in.
Control
Nathan
C,
Vegetable
Control
is a southpaw.
I'm not actually, but if I use my right hand all day at work and come home and PC game with my right hand all day, then I get my wrists hurt.
So you forced yourself into southpaw.
Would you, okay, Nathan, I got a question. If you were playing Halo 3 right now, what control scheme would you use for your controller?
Well, Halo 3, I'd probably be playing on an Xbox, and so I would just have the Xbox controller.
Wrong. Bumper
But
jumper.
if I-
That was the correct answer.
But Nathan Vegetable, of course, friend of the show. Back to you, Luke. Back to you, Allan.
Yes.
I did want to bring up some Dreamcast games.
Okay, let's hear it. Even though the Dreamcast, of course, was ended before the period that we're talking about, I do think that it's important that we take these deviations from that 9-year period as often as possible, almost to the point that we're just talking about the whole of video game history instead of that specific time period.
That's okay.
I'm just saying it's what we're doing.
Okay.
Nathan, what's your observation? What's your thoughts?
So there's several games that I remember as like party co-op battler games, and the specific ones, like the classic one was Power Stone. That one was a great 4-player battler game.
Well, the first one was only 2
with your
players,
buddies.
but the second one was 4 players. Yes.
Yeah, we were playing Power Stone too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a somewhat similar game I vaguely remember was Ooga Booga. That one was another similar, relatively low effort for a video game, but it's just a party,
it's a party on a
just
disc.
a battler, goofy, right? And I feel like that sort of game, there just isn't really that anymore. And for that matter, where did Power Stone, why, what happened?
Well, can I jump in here very quickly?
Absolutely,
Robbie? Back to you, Robbie. Back to you, Luke. I will say I think that what you're really asking is why has couch co-op died, and there's so many great reasons for that, or not co-op rather, but just the couch multiplayer game, and it just is. The landscape changed. There wasn't that same need to work split screen in every game or whatever it may have, because I don't know if you knew this, caller, but doing split screen on a game, I don't know, is Power Stone split screen? It was not split screen. Okay, but still,
no.
the point stands, which is that the need for local multiplayer is so much less than it used to be with the amazing apps
but it's
like
not
Discord.
really local.
How so?
So games like Gang Beasts are a modern example of a similar game.
Right.
Where you know everybody's on one screen and the objective is just to beat each other up.
Right.
Right.
And Power Stone was really like that, but it was just a little deeper in that you had super moves and characters you can be. It was closer to a Street Fighter version of Gang Beasts.
It was sort of like
Super
yeah.
Smash Bros.
Is Game Beast? I haven't have the different boards that you kind of you kind of sync through the level as you go through it.
No, I think it's it's pretty simple. But that's like the.
Open
Gang Beasts, you're just trying to throw people off a map. But that's pretty that's the modern equivalent, and I feel like that subsection of games of just fun multiplayer games that you could play with your friends is something that's not really there's not many games like that. And I'd quickly segue into Lethal Company is a example of not beat 'em up or anything like that, but a very recent release of something that's just fun to play with friends.
Yeah,
I will say I'll take some issue with that. I do think that the Overcooked games, you've got Moving Out, you have a lot of stuff that is more. Well, it's less about the the Ooga Booga, Power Stone, or Kung Fu Chaos style of game, but it's definitely the couch co-op games are still out there. The problem that I have, and Allan, I think that you have something to say about this.
Absolutely,
is that the boards themselves. One of the things that I think about almost daily, I would say several times a day, is the 32X version of Virtua Fighter.
Yes, me too.
And how that you could actually shrink the size of the arenas to get that vaunted ring out
the vaunted
into
ring.
the round. So let's hear your thoughts on this, Allan, and then we'll talk to. We'll go in a. This is the arena. We'll go to Allan, Nathan, Griffin, Luke, Robbie.
Okay.
Thank you, Robbie. I can hear you, and I do think about that every day. The vaunted ring. I'm quite often thinking about that.
Is it vaunted?
I believe it is a vaunted ring.
Can we get a dictionary check in the chat for the definition of vaunted?
And say again what we were talking about.
Specifically the Virtua Fighter port for the Sega 32X, which allowed you to shrink and grow. But obviously, if you're going to be
ring out,
is because you want to ring out.
Yes, I do. Yes, right.
End the match quickly. Move on to the next challenge.
That's right, and I do that. I do think about that every day. I think about the vaunted ring and moving on to the next challenge. And I just want to in terms of the couch co-op conversation, I do want to it is all politics is local fundamentally. So I do think about that. Back to Luke.
Back to Nathan,
and
then Griffin, and then Luke, and then Robbie.
So Griffin,
so talk about what Robbie said, and I said.
What do you think?
So I think I see what you're saying of like the map being interactable and actually part of the game more so than just a flat land that services to put your characters.
That's what I was saying.
Right?
But of course, what Allan was saying, and I do think that this is what you were trying to say, and I'll just correct you on it, was that the Virtua Fighter arenas are just flat plains up until you get to the Virtua Fighter 3 era.
That is what I said.
Of course, Allan.
That's what I was saying. Thank you for correcting me. Because that's what I meant.
The fact is that before you do a tournament, you can set the size of the match, the arena.
That's what I was trying to say.
Okay. So Nathan, what do you think about that?
I do think bringing up Overcooked is a good comparison to like they did get pretty creative with like things moving around and like you having to jump from platform to platform.
Oh yeah,
as part of the game.
Nathan, I'm so sorry to cut you off. I feel like that is actually not what. Yeah, it feels like you're going back a peg, but we're talking now about how the Virtua Fighter 32X.
I will say that
go ahead, and back to you, Robbie.
To everybody
please,
else,
please.
And to also take away turns from people. I would like to point out that there's also if you're not into the stress of the cooking and the moving,
right?
You can also be enjoying the stress of launching a spaceship in Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time?
No, you're just talking about a third game.
Yeah, have played that. Yeah.
Great. So,
let's Griffin, back to you, Griffin. What do you think about the 32XX ring out Virtua Fighter? There's 32X ring out.
And I do think the full title is Virtua Fighter 32X.
32X. So Griffin, take it away.
Hello, this is Griffin. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
So Griffin, the 32X was a modular add-on for the Sega Genesis Mega Drive system that allowed you to basically have a different set of games that with increased color. I think it was.
Were there 30?
Allan, was it 264 colors on the Genesis Mega Drive that could be displayed at a time?
That's right.
And they increased it to 32,000
colors.
678.
Sir, I have a question.
If someone can check that exact number.
No, you're
for me,
right.
I do think I get that correct.
You are right. I know.
And I just want to
right.
give a shout out to Griffin and the good people at Butcherbird Studios in Burbank, California, because or Glendale or Burbank. It's right on the line there. Doesn't matter.
It's on the border.
When times were hard, they called me up and they gave me a job, and I made them. They saved Christmas last year. Did you know this?
No.
They
saved Christmas. I have a question. Was the Virtua Fighter playable on the regular Genesis or just the 32X?
Just the 32X.
Because the Genesis couldn't handle.
Well, it was on Sega Saturn.
The Sega Saturn.
It was ported between.
Sega. That would be a cool drop for the show. Maybe you guys.
The 32. Okay, so we're talking about the 32X version of the Virtua Fighter. That was not playable.
And I think that's actually the same game as the Sega Saturn one. It's just ported.
Yes, but it more specifically running on the 32X hardware, and I do believe it runs slightly. It could be even slightly faster because you weren't dealing with CD-ROM read times and loading and all that. I think I think overall it is a faster game. But here's the funny thing about that, and I think everybody's going to have a right old laughter, like the jolly old elf himself, Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, that when they find out that the backgrounds in the 32X version of Virtua Fighter are actually being run from the Genesis hardware, and the only thing that the 32X is doing is running the character models and the arenas, which are polygonal.
Sorry, got it.
That is
and
funny.
I think it also might have GURAD shading.
Yes. I think there was Gurad shading.
So if you've
Can I say what I think is
super funny.
Can I think what I say the
That is
ring out
super funny.
function?
Yeah.
I find it pointless. I think that health bars are fine on 2D fighting games. If you want ring outs, play Super Smash Bros, dude. I don't really see the point of the ring out. I'm working. I spent all this time practicing this big combo just for the first hit to knock him out of the ring. I mean, it's stupid. It's frankly stupid.
Well, that's why you're where you're at, Luke.
All right. Well,
Well, they basically have the health bar in Smash Bros. Too, right? Like it's.
Okay, so we're gonna call.
Nathan
Thank you for your
Vegetable, friend
caller.
of the show, always a hero. Go to his house.
Don't
knock on the door and
Don't.
see what he's up to, because I'm sure it's going to be. He's always got he's got a warm hearth. He's one of those hearth people.
Hearthstone.
So you go to his house. He'll sit you by the fire. He'll give you the food, just like the old travelers of yore. At this time of year.
Zach, I'm going to call him out. It's not that I understand what the ring outs were doing. It's just not interesting for me when I'm playing a 2D fighting game like that. I don't really see the point.
Well, first of all, it's a 3D fighting game. It's
Right.
Virtua.
Sorry, it's Virtua.
So it's a Virtua Fighter.
Okay.
But I understand the concern. But the fact of the matter is that with some of these games, you do have a lot of people coming at you from all angles, and you're not. If you spend just all your time trying to knock down the health bar, you're gonna.
We're calling disc replay.
Disc
What is
replay. That sounds. Is that like an
Sounds like a
old
video game
store? Yeah, I was gonna say.
We'll just kind of. In times like these, I just like to thank them for what a great job.
Is
they
this?
do. I don't like pranks.
Is this a UK number?
Nope, I don't think so. I don't because I don't. I feel like I was clear.
I can't read that.
Understood.
I don't
I
really.
wouldn't prank.
Oh my god!
What is that?
It's bad.
Disc replay.
Disc
What
replay.
is that?
What do you
That's
mean? What is?
a monitor? Acer monitor?
Yeah, it's an Acer monitor. Was that what was your question?
Disc replay in Maryville. How can I help you?
Hi, I just wanted to say I'm a big fan of your store, and I hope you're having a great Saturday. And I've loved coming there over the years, so thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for everything that you've been doing. And the fact of the matter is that this is the holiday season, and so we are here trying to spread the cheer of the season as best
all
we
the
can,
businesses
just
we
by
like.
simply adding compliments to your life, so that when the good old man comes and takes you off to the next ethereal plane, you will go there knowing that I did the right thing. I was doing things that made people happy. I was fulfilling people's lives. My ministry, Luke. It's a ministry to be a good person in a world filled with just such rottenness and just anger. And if you can just be nice to somebody for just a few minutes out of their day, it can really make a deep impact. And take away all the deep fear.
So a big thanks to Disc
people
Replay.
have. So big thanks to Deep Fear on the Sega Saturn and all games that take place on boats or under the ocean. Back to you, Disc Replay.
Appreciate that. You guys have a good night.
All right,
Thank you
you
so
as well. A single chuckle, not bad.
That was very sweet.
That was really
what
nice,
you did.
Robbie. Thank you.
Robbie is so nice.
That
at
was
making-
kinda
at
nice.
building people up and making them feel very good.
I mean, I'm not gonna hide anything. This is the best time of year.
It is.
Folks.
It's great.
It's great.
You know, I'm Jewish, but I love Christmas. It's funny how that works.
That is so funny.
It's so weird because you'd think I'd love Hanukkah, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah. Those are fine, but I love Christmas.
What's the yurt one?
What?
The yurt one.
Griffin, do you know? What's the yurt one? The kibbutz? When you go on a kibbutz?
Let's have the chat answer that one.
Yeah.
no,
What's the one? Oh, is it
Purim?
No,
Purim.
No, not Purim. I know that one. Everyone knows that one.
Because of the movie
Sukkot.
Career.
That's the
Sukkot.
one.
Yeah.
It's not yurt. It's
What is Sukkot? It's like it's not Jewish New Year, but it also is.
Well,
Griffin.
you're celebrating the fact that your ancestors, and this is a direct lineage to your. This is the blood that runs within you, and.
Huh?
Robin's mic is going out. And I think it's the cord.
No, it's
Oh.
got the cords.
Okay, we can switch that out.
It's good now.
Oh, it's good now. We'll switch.
So
it
I'll
between
just
guys.
so that could be a sign that as a full-blooded Gentile, I'm not supposed to be talking about Jewish holidays.
That is
so
true.
I'll just
Sign from
cut it
Yahweh.
off.
I think it's okay for Robbie to talk about pretty much anything, especially things that are more personal to other people. So I do appreciate that, and I do feel like I'm learning a lot from Robbie pretty much whenever he talks. So back to you, Robbie, and thank you.
And there was 80 years in the desert?
At least.
Those are the 80 years we know about, but a lot of that was lost to history.
That's right.
And what a history it was, because the folks, your folks, got out of that situation down there in Egypt, got through that blasted Red Sea.
Yep.
I mean, they just blasted the hell out of it.
It's so interesting to be a little history lesson.
And what did they
for us.
find? They just find themselves just like,
because I didn't know. Huh?
I'm learning on the spot right now.
They found themselves in Yurt Central. Of course, that now what we now know is the Arabian Desert.
He knows almost as much about Judaism as he does about these old video games that no one likes. So it's just amazing to be near him sometimes. I just feel very lucky.
And then they find the lush gardens and fertile crescent.
Yes.
Fecund?
That sounds wrong to me.
It's fertile.
Fecund seems like
it doesn't. I don't think we should say it anymore.
Yeah.
I
They
don't
found
think we should say
themselves
that.
at the tip of the fertile
shouldn't
crescent.
say.
They got the farms. The kingdom of David was established, and the rest is all good news to the present day.
Back to
you, Luke, Griffin, and Allan.
Great.
Thank you,
Robbie, thank you for that informative.
That was really nice.
You know, actually we passed the halfway mark, I believe, in this hour. So I always like to halfway through the stream give back a little bit and teach people about the history that they might not know about. So I really do appreciate that, Robbie.
Anytime I do think about the history of the Jewish people quite often, in positive ways, because of several books that I've read.
Totally. And we'll be careful how much more we save. So let's take it to your shirt, which it says Frame Gride.
That's right.
I'd love to talk about this.
So Frame Gride, of course,
is so cool.
If you could see it, if you could see the folks, if there's the words Frame Gride, the words
Frame Gride.
Frame
the
Gride.
words Frame Gride
Gride.
are printed on this shirt as a way to. Now that we do have the Twitch channel and we do have the EGI2 show and several other programs that we will be launching.
Several more programs.
On the channel.
There's other programs?
We have an emergency program coming up on Tuesday, Luke.
Okay, this is news to me.
We do have an emergency program.
I work at this company.
Rather than trying to shoehorn...
So this is a breaking news?
Rather than trying to shoehorn the damn thing into the EGI Stream 3.
Breaking news.
This is breaking news. It's just in. No one else is talking about this. We're going to have a full program on Tuesday evening dedicated to the spreadsheet.
Are you part of that?
This is the first time I'm hearing about it. I've been employed for EGI2 for a couple weeks now. It's been a godsend to get this employment that I've needed, although I haven't been paid. But I'm just learning now, breaking news, and I am excited about a spreadsheet, on its own spreadsheet TV show on Twitch.
There's a spreadsheet. This is
on
just
Tuesday. So I don't know if I have anything to do with this.
So what we're asking for people is to take advantage of this opportunity because to spend a couple of hours going over a spreadsheet that I have that is a recording of every game that I purchase versus how much I pay for it, plus also how much time I spend playing it. And the point of the spreadsheet, for those who have not seen the spreadsheet, is that is trying to get to the point where every dollar I spend on a game is reflected in an hour of enjoyment.
And so I haven't watched the show too much. And that's something people like when you do that.
It's important that it's done. Whether or not people like it is
but it's a show,
not consequential because
people do like it.
People want the truth.
People do like it.
And everything on the spreadsheet is the truth. It is a spreadsheet. We do use maths.
And I'm very excited about this.
You guys love the spreadsheet.
Robbie,
okay,
listen,
I don't know.
I will just one quick thing I will say. People do love the spreadsheet.
I don't know.
I'm telling you. I'm just telling you. People
as
love
a layman.
Yes, understand as a layman. People do love the spreadsheet, and I personally love the spreadsheet, and I get a sort of thrill when Robbie talks about the spreadsheet. It's a kind of a sexual thrill I get whenever I hear about the numbers and I see the line. There's something about the patterns and the lines of the spreadsheet and how he's so smart and he uses the money so efficiently to the one-to-one sort of goal he has of enjoyment to monetary value is thrilling to me in a way that I haven't really felt outside of sexual sort of thing. So back to you, Robbie, and I'm excited to see the new spreadsheet show.
The spreadsheet is the same spreadsheet. It starts at one color at the top and then kind of fades into different colors as it goes lower and lower, except for the main part of the spreadsheet, which is pretty much all tan. It's almost a flesh tone.
And I love that. I love the flesh tone.
I think this might be good because I'm seeing people that already are familiar with the spreadsheet, but there might be people in the chat that aren't. So I am just curious, could you explain what people like about it, or what
people like to see the games that I buy. People like to see how much I pay for it.
Why?
People like to see how much time I spend playing for it. Because it's the truth, Luke. Because that's what people yearn.
I think I could handle. I could take this.
You see what my question is?
Yes, I see what the question is.
There was a baby born 2,000 years ago to this day, and that baby grew up into a man, and that man
Christ
strove to tell the truth, and
he was born today.
And if he had the access to the Google Sheets app,
I love video games. I know that's right.
On a Chromebook, like I do, I think he'd be doing the exact same thing that I'm doing today.
That's
you think Jesus Christ would be making a spreadsheet where he shows what games he's played, bought, and then compared the hours to the amount of money he spent on them?
I do agree.
Okay.
I will just say one of the reasons.
Clip that. Thank you.
One of the reasons people get so much enjoyment out of this is because they know what the numbers in the spreadsheet represent. This is just how I feel, and I think other people may sound off in the chat if you agree, if you're familiar with the spreadsheet. When you see those numbers, you know that they represent enjoyment of Robbie. And just the idea of Robbie having fun is exciting for people. And me specifically, I do get off on knowing how excited he is.
Or not excited, right? Because some of the games you see, he's not very excited.
That's right, but it's kind of the fun of the going through the analytics of it and kind of being like, oh, he enjoyed that, or he didn't enjoy that, and he got his money's worth. And
sometimes you don't enjoy it, but you keep plugging away anyway because you want to get your value out of a title that you spend your hard-earned money on.
Okay, we're running very rapidly out of time. What I guess I would say is, why do it live? And this is an honest question. Why do it live and take people through it, not just send them the link? What's the appeal of having you curate the experience?
Because things change and the spreadsheet changes, and if you don't have explanations as to what's going on, why all of a sudden, you said you were going to spend, you said you spent $15 on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and all of a sudden you've added another Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but below the one that you bought on the Stadia. That then you got a free version on Uplay, so you got Stadia/Uplay as the platform. Then below it, you're adding Steam Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Why are you doing this? What's been happening?
You're putting multiple titles on. It's the same title, but with.
Because every different platform has its own way.
But why would you even buy it another time?
Because you want to play it because
Allan, can you explain this? Because
I can't explain that.
I'm really getting confused.
I think it's probably because it's unsafe, but I just want to say one thing about the new spreadsheet show, which is just so exciting, and I want people to understand the weight of this historic moment, and that it's happening on Luke's show is very good for Luke. But I think we must feel a little bit how people felt when Cheers spun off into Frasier, when people found out about that there was a new show. The spreadsheet is getting its own show, and it's even a little bit like, it's actually more like EGI 2 was when Frasier started, and the new Frasier on Paramount is the spreadsheet show. Back to you, Luke. I'm sorry, that's all I wanted to say.
And if I might different platforms have different game time tracking. If you try to, if I have, all right. Let's do a bit of a thought.
All right, guys. Well, this has been a great hour. Is there anything you'd like to plug before you go?
That was the hour.
I
want to plug the spreadsheet show. I just want to spread. So we will be doing a new spreadsheet show.
Griffin, can you give another shout out to EGI_2 in the chat? This is a really great program, and on Tuesday, I guess we're going to find out in real time. You might even see me in the chat because I'm personally curious about what makes the spreadsheet show interesting or entertaining. So I can't wait to. I really, really, legitimately want to know
because people talk fast and it goes for a long time.
That's what people like about it, not the video game part, or both.
But also we'll be doing a separate even though it's a show dedicated to the spreadsheet, we'll likely have to take some of a deviation to talk about how much did I spend it on the game versus how much do I wish I pay for it, which is not recorded in the spreadsheet.
All right. Well, thank you guys
Thank
so
you.
much. We're going to take a quick break while we tee up the next guest. Let's give a round of applause for Robbie and
you.
Allan. These are two really great guys.
Thank
so we'll go on a
Thank you.
quick commercial break and we'll
Thank
be
you for
back.
having the
Thank
Luke.
you.
Thank you
Man,
guys.
Thank you.
No, thank you guys.
This is a thrill of a lifetime for me.
Thank you so much.